Hello everyone, this is the video for lab 5, and in this lab you're going to learn some spatial statistics using some particular spatial data. So the data has already been provided and you have to follow these steps to get done with your assignment, and these are quite straightforward, and the deliverables are also written here in full description, so follow the instructions from the PDF. However, you can get the data extracted and drag those data to your current map. So here we have some data for the Bigfoot sightings, some points that represent the Bigfoot sightings, and the counties of Washington. So at the very first we have to project both the Washington counties shapefile, the boundaries of the counties, and the projected coordinate system will be in AD 1983 UTM zone 10 north. So you can just type it in here and click enter. Then the projected coordinate system will appear. You have to do the same for the Bigfoot sightings as well. You have to project the Bigfoot sightings with the same coordinate system. Okay, I'm using the same coordinate system to project this one. So we do have two CSV files. One is a forested area and another is the total population. We're going to join the forested area and also the total population CSV with the Washington counties that we just projected. So at first we will join the forested area. The input field will be the FID, and there is a similar field in the forested area attribute table we saw, and you will leave the indexing, so you will uncheck that index. We're not going to index that. Then we will join the total population with the projected counties as well. And remember that the unique and similar field will be the GeoID, and the ID in the population CSV file will be the ID2. So, however, now you'll be able to see that if you open the attribute table, all those two CSV, the attributes of the CSV file have already been joined with this. Now you have to calculate 4 different spatial statistics, like the mean center, median center, standard distance, and standard deviational ellipse. So all those tools are available here. You just have to calculate those one by one using this particular Washington counties. This would be the input feature. The input will be the Bigfoot sightings, not the counties. So the projected Bigfoot sightings will be the input feature, and you will calculate the statistics for all these 4 and create one map that will have all this 4 statistics calculated. Like the first one gave me a green sphere, and now I'm calculating the median center and it's giving me a yellow sphere. So in the same way you can calculate the other 2, and you will be given some more spheres or something else. So you just have to make a perfect map with all other elements that a map should have. So this is one of the deliverables. Yes, so follow this, and this is deliverable 1. You just have to make a map with all these 4 spatial statistics. Now we will move on, and we have to now create 2 fields for our next steps, and we will do a spatial join, not the common add spatial join. We will use the tool to make our spatial join now. With the projected one, first of all, you have to export the features for the Washington counties. So I just exported the features. I saved another shapefile with all the attributes I joined. Now you will search for spatial join, and not this one, not this add spatial join. We will just get that spatial join tool and work on that. The target feature will be the Washington counties exported feature, and the join feature will be the Bigfoot sightings, projected Bigfoot sightings point shapefile. Now when you are done, you can go and you will find that there in the spatial join one there is a field. You will find in its attribute table the one that you just created, named as join count, and it simply refers that which county has how many Bigfoot sightings in it. Like this particular county has 60 Bigfoot sightings inside it, and similarly the other join counts also represent the numbers of Bigfoot sightings in each of these countries, so each of these counties. So this one has 40, and this doesn't have any, so it's we can see that there's 0. Now we have to make 3 more fields. One is the area, then we have to make more 2 fields. One is the first one is the area. You can also name it area. And the data type can be double, and the double data type simply gets more than 3 or 4 digits after decimal points. Now I need another field to create, and that is the sightings, which are normalized to the area. So in short is NPA, and this can be double as well. I need one last field to be created, that is population normalized to area. So you have to calculate both of these, like the site normalized area and population normalized to area. This will be double. Now you have to save these fields and go to the attribute table, and you will find the new fields that you created just now. We have to now calculate the area of these counties. So it will be US square survey miles, and the coordinate system can be the same. And remember to clear your selection, otherwise the area will be calculated for just one county other than all of them. So remember to clear your selection and then calculate your area. Now for the site normalized by poly area, you have to divide the join count by the area that you calculated just now. So let's get rid of this one. You have to divide join county by the area. And it's been calculated. You have to do the same for the population normalized. You have to divide the population by the area. So this would be the normalized population. Okay, I'm done calculating all of this. Now we will move on to our next step of calculating some more statistics, and that is the ordinary least squares. The input feature will be the spatial joint. Then it is directed in very details in the PDF, like what should be this field. So the unique field will be the geo ID, the dependent variable will be the SNPA, and the explanatory variable you have to run 3 times using 3 different types of explanatory variables. Like first of all, you have to take the first area, then the second you have to run again with the population density, and the third you have to check both of this and then run the third time. So at first you have to check the forested area, take the forested area as the explanatory variable, and remember to save the output to report file which might be used afterwards. So don't forget to save this output report, the report files. So give these particular names and save this in specific locations for each of the run. So I forgot to provide the dependent variable, and the dependent variable will be the sites normalized to area, the SNPA. Then if you run it, you can just rename it, give it the name of something. If you run it, you will see some graduated classifications, and the statistics been calculated here, you can see. So you simply have to make maps with these, and those will be your deliverables. The second one, all others will be the same. We will just change the variable, the explanatory variable, and it will be the population density, or simply the normalized population. The normalized population is the one that we just calculated by dividing population by area. So you will just select this for the second OLS map. And this time also don't forget to save the report. Then run it, and a new map will be generated, and it's different from the earlier one. You can see and the last one where you have to check both of these and then run for the last time. And the deliverable has to be in one map frame. Yes, it says like you will have 2 panels in just one map. So however, let's calculate the other statistics first and talk about the deliverable. So you have to calculate the geographically weighted regression as well, the GWR, and the dependent variable will be the SNPA, and the explanatory variable for GWR will only be the population density and the forested area together. You don't have to run twice or thrice for GWR. You just have to check both population density and forested area for this, and then you have to run it. Yes, the population density means the normalized population, and there are some other options. If you scroll down, you will see like the neighborhood type. It's been directed in the PDF that you can take number of neighbors for the neighbor type and golden search for the neighborhood selection method. Then you can run it and your statistics will be calculated, and you will be able to see the map of it. And the PDF actually tells you to take just one map frame, just take one map where you will have these 2 panels, where one will show the OLS and another one will show with the GWR map. But as there are many OLS, there are 3 OLS maps and 1 GWR map, I will say like you can simply just submit those maps separately. It's okay if you cannot take those all maps in just one layout with different map frames. You can just provide me those maps separately. So I hope it helped you. Thank you.